Hello, brothers and sisters. It's good to be here. Hope you enjoyed this presentation. Take something away from it that helps our union. Let me bring you up to date. At the last election meeting, I passed out some cards about my election. You might have seen them. About 5 o'clock, long before the union meeting started, three members came out from the committee, the election committee, and said, I have to go outside. I can't campaign inside the building. And they said, didn't I read the rules? Well, I did read the rules, and I didn't see that. And if that's a rule that you can't campaign within the union hall, the school, or any union place, think about what that's come to. Think about that. You are silenced. I was silenced. But I'm back. And you got to live life even if there's death on your mind. And so I'm going in there in a tough situation where I'm being threatened, obviously. And they're in a bad position because they covered this up for years and years. I began to find out about it when many people actually sent me messages that something's going on. And what the message was is they're not paying the beneficiaries. So I thought, well, how can I do this? I've had to solve a lot of these problems before. I was valedictorian, ran a lot of companies during that time. General manager I went up to, and every one of those companies asked me to drop my book. And I said, well, if you want me to do that, I'm not interested. I'm a union man. If you want me to manage your company, I'll manage it as a union man. And by the way, right around the turn of the century, the amendment was passed that the members paid the officers' dues. I don't know why one officer didn't stand up and say, I want to pay my own dues. You pay your dues? You pay your dues in life? That's a mantra of a union man. We pay our own dues. They ought to stand back up and say, I want to start paying my own dues. The membership shouldn't be paying my dues. I'm a union member too. Unless the officers think they're a corporation, I don't know what is with that. I don't get that at all. So don't ever sell yourself short. The contractors look at unions because they've got cohesion and continuity. That's one thing the subcontractors, the non-union contractors cannot provide. They're forever negotiating with their members, with their workers, not their members. They're forever negotiating with their workers on the wages because Johnny got that and Hank got that, and it's a nightmare. But what's nice about it is when we're set up, we got our wages, everything's done, we don't have to worry about that. And then what comes first? The job. And who likes that? The contractors. So that's a good thing. So that's why I'm here. And it all began back when they found out that I wasn't happy that beneficiaries weren't being paid. And I didn't know how to do that. Figured that out at the moment. I gave it some thought. And in the meantime, I'm talking to the president of the local quite a bit. And because he wanted to suddenly change the laws and bylaws, which was fine if they came clean. But that's the problem here. Nobody wanted to come clean. Nobody wanted to come clean and admit this was a disaster made by one person. And unfortunately followed along by many people since that time, including our current business manager that called the lawyers to see, after I asked him, why are you doing this? Why aren't you paying the beneficiary? He said, I called the lawyers and they said I don't have to. Well, that's true, he doesn't have to. What he said is, I'm going to take the lawyer's advice rather than back up the members I represent. Man, this isn't a private company. This isn't his money. If we got to pay members, we need more money, and we do that. That's what we do. We take in money and we send out money. It's not a profit company. It's an organization, a non-profit organization that we can put the money whatever we need if it's for the right purpose. and what they did with the beneficiaries. I mean, it was sad when you think about it. The man dies, and immediately his wife doesn't even know she has coming, and she might be losing, and at the exact same moment, his pension and Social Security. So we really slam her or him or whoever gets the money. I mean, it was just so unfair. And it's driven me to run. I got letters from the business manager, financial secretary, just having I'm detrimental to the union. Why am I detrimental to the union? Because I'm detrimental to him and his family. Because he wouldn't have a job. Part of his family wouldn't have a job. So that's where that starts. So if you look at the previous Right to Ship video, you'll see what I had to do. And it was so nice that all my proof came from them. We have to, the managers, which is the president and the business manager, financial secretary, basically the president and the treasurer, which is the same as the business manager, they have to sign that they haven't committed perjury when they send this labor management report to the government, which every union has to do that. So that was one source of information, and from that source I could see exactly how much we actually paid into the death beneficiaries. And then I've realized that, I know every death because it's published in the journal. So I know the death numbers, so we could count those up, multiply the death that year by 3, number of members, and we come up with a number. And the discrepancy over 9 years, and there was more years, the discrepancy was $717,500 or something like that. I'm not exactly sure of a change. And that shook him up. And when Chris Mandela found out about that, what did he do? He hid. He removed all those years where I used my information. When he found out about it is when I told him. I said, Chris, I got this information, look. And then he said, well, I had to do it to save money. And so you ask yourself, is storing bits and bytes? I got a little drive. It maybe cost me $200 with a store of 10 unions, maybe 100 unions information in digital, and we're paying $93,000 for a newsletter. So then immediately turns around and says, no, oh no, now why? We'll want to send a newsletter out in digital form. So, we're not being treated honest. We're not being treated right. So there's more to that, but I'll get into that. This is going to be the first video you're going to see under my new website, and it's called 602joebailey.com, and I'm going to put some business cards out before the next union meeting, and I'll let you know how that went, because I wonder if I'm going to be removed again. So there's a group in there. You just don't want to admit life is going on, and we got to deal with our problems, and that's why I'm here now. So the other thing I'm going to do, we need to educate our membership to be leaders, and I'm going to put a program in for that. And basically, if you look at the labor management report, it tells where all the money goes in and goes out. And we need to go through that, and even the labor management, the Department of Labor said they give free programs. Their program ain't about the right word. They give free classes on how to do that. Well, that's a great idea. And if they don't, we can do that internally. It's real simple. So everybody can know what's going on all the time. That's transparency in unions. As a nonprofit is important. In a company, maybe you don't want to let your information out because your competition is going to steal your customers. But this isn't the case. This is totally different. So I'm going to do that. And I'm also concerned about our hall. We use the school room, the auditorium, or whatever you want to call it. And it will seat 2.4% of our membership. Wow. 2.4% of 5,000 isn't good. So, you know, somebody may come and say, oh man, this ain't worth it. There's no seats. It's just crazy. So what I'm thinking about doing, talking to some other locals in the surrounding area, and move the membership meetings here and there and here and there. Man, maybe I got to get okay through the UA. You know, we might do Zoom, and you can authentication codes where it's you, and you can actually watch a union meeting with your wife. I mean, she'll watch a couple. They're pretty boring, really, except for the excitement I'm creating right now. But they ought to be part of your life. You're in the union. If you love the union, you want to make it fair and you want to make it strong. There's members in here that are here for the wages. Well, that's fine. They can do that. That's their right. But that can't be the majority, or we're dead. We got to have the majority be people that love the union like I do. And I wouldn't be up here if I didn't love this union. Joseph Patrick Bailey, my uncle, was in charge of the International Typography. He was vice president and in charge of the negotiations for the International Typographical Union, which is the union that printed every newspaper, every publication, every magazine in the country. I've been to so many of those commissions, I can't tell you. But union's my blood, and I put my entire life up for this. I don't think life is worth living if you got to live in fear. But you know, it makes you hesitant when you go in there and you have to talk to these people that are so just overwhelmed by facing this. I mean, the President Sullivan, he was so all over the place. He came to early in 2000 and was upset about the union, and he never would quite tell me. I could see why he was strained at this time. I see why he was concerned. He didn't know what was going to happen to him, I'm sure. But then when I went and did this little first movie, I realized that something's odd. And at that time, I picked up, oh my gosh, for 4 years, the assistant business manager was signing the labor report to the government as president. At the same time, John Sullivan was president. There's a second video in that first right to ship thing that you can look and you can see how obvious it is. And why did that happen? I don't know, but it happened. And John Sullivan wasn't happy. So there's manipulation going on in this union for a long time. And it continues. Deleting history, calling lawyers to do your dirty work, writing articles in the journal, defaming me, exhorting violence indirectly, all for the same reason. Just silence the membership. Silence me, and they're going to be afraid to speak up. Instilling in their conscience the question, can you afford to lose your job for speaking up? Can you afford to be blackballed? Just look at the platform I want to empower the working men and women in our local. So this will end. This is long enough. This is a quarter of a century. This silliness has been going on. Spread the word, share the platform, let each and every one of you decide for yourself who protects you as a member. More importantly, who among you will come forward in the future, as I have, to stop this autocratic non-union behavior. Have courage to stand up for your union. It's going to take somebody like me. They're coming after me, so you won't come after them. They haven't been honest. They're hiding it. Give me some support. We can fix it. Look at my platform. I want to get everybody involved. I want to empower knowledge on how to run a union. It's not that difficult. Money comes in, money goes out. That's what it's supposed to do. Comes in from the contractor. It's pretty simple. Money is really easy. Contractor has an employee. He takes out the benefits he's supposed to. The contractor sends that money in as a lump sum, divided out to where it goes there. So it's really more of a secretary's job, not a treasury secretary, but an office worker secretary to do this. And it's even got worse. Article 3 They're ignoring that. We're going to still have 6 positions when they know damn well they haven't gone through the proper procedure through the labor management reports. So they're just thumbing their nose at the membership. They're thumbing their nose at their responsibility. We need to stop this. Although I don't come to every union meeting, I am at every union meeting through the efforts of people that text me and talk to me all the time. I had Bill Durkin and Joe Durkin work for me for years, so I know what's going on. It's not like I'm out of the loop. There's several union members that talk to me weekly, text me, and we have conversation about what's going on. They're not happy, but they're a little worried. They want to remain anonymous. I can't blame them. But then I got the journal about they're going to add another business agent. I said, I got to go to that union meeting. This has just gotten so strange. And it turns out, here's how bad it is. We have never told through our labor report that we've changed the bylaws about Article 3. And there's quite a lot of changes. Article 3 originally said that the assistant business manager made that decision. So that was one change they didn't report. And there was one BA, so they made it 2 business agents, so that was another change. Then the third one, another change. In the fourth one, another change. In the fifth one, another change. And now the 6th one. And what does Chris Medella tell me? He says the lawyers are looking into it. I don't think they're looking into it at all because they wouldn't tell him. I would hope they'd tell him that it's not against the law, but are you sure you want to do this? That's your membership. I would hope they would bring that up as good labor lawyers. That's the only thing that would make sense to me. It's not their job to tell him to break the law. They would tell him, you better do it. So I think that's just another thumb at the nose of what should be done right. They're just going to do what they want. Talk to your friends. Let's change it. I only want 3 years, and I'm out. I can do that in 3 years, and we can have a clean, organized local where every membership is cherished and honored and will be part of the union. Thanks, guys.